What up, what up, what up? If you hear the old school sounds in the background, it is about to go down. You are now locked into the Alumni podcast. If you're rocking with us on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and also click that bell so you can be notified when we drop new content. As always, I am your host, Ken KB Supreme, and joining me right by my side, my Cleopatra, my Zuri, my Wakandan Queen, Queen V. What's up, baby?
Hey family, what's up?
So, Queen, how was your day?
It was a day. It was good. It was busy. Made the day go by, but it was okay. How was your day?
My day was good. It was a really good day. I had a good day at work. Was able to help a lot of my clients today.
That's good.
Had some good conversation today, and one conversation actually comes to mind. So, me and a couple of coworkers, we were kind of just hanging around, and we were talking about how we met our significant other.
Okay.
Do you remember the first time we met?
I do, in church.
Okay. Do you remember our very first date?
I do. Our very first date actually was in conjunction with our church picnic, and we went to Yokohama.
Okay. Could you I would like to call our listeners our alumni family.
Okay.
All right. Can you tell our alumni family how did our first date go?
I think it went well. I think we were both kind of nervous. We had planned to go to Yokohama after the church picnic, but I don't think a lot of our church members knew that we were going on a date. So I don't want to say it was secret, but we were kind of like discreet. Is that correct?
Okay.
And I think it went very well. We walked around Yokohama. That's in Japan, in case anyone doesn't know. And we were with another couple, friend of ours. And we talked and sat by the water and just talked about things. It was actually very refreshing. It was very sweet. And I like the fact that you asked me to kiss me before you actually did. So
Okay.
that was kind of surprising.
Okay. So when you first met me, what was your very first impression?
That you were quiet, very intelligent, that you observed people a lot. You didn't really say much. You smiled a lot, and I think your smile is what did it for me.
Okay. Would you say that I was shy?
Yes, I thought you were shy.
You thought I was shy?
I did.
Okay. Have I come out of my shell since
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
You have.
So there's actually and you play a big part in this story because
Okay.
I was thinking back about me as a youngster. And I was kind of outgoing as a youngster.
Okay.
Very, very confident.
Okay.
And I became shy.
Like when? When you got to Japan or before, or when did you become shy?
So I thought I shared this story with you before. I never told you what happened and the reason why I became a shy individual.
Okay.
I never told you that?
I don't really recall. You might have.
Wow. Okay, so, well, then I guess for our alumni family and also for you, Nita, I'm about to give an exclusive.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell the story of what happened that caused me to go from an outgoing, confident young man
Okay.
to being shy.
Okay.
And you play a big part in this story.
You got me nervous.
Queen.
Okay.
No, no need to be nervous. No need to be nervous.
Okay.
You play a big part in this story, because you're actually the reason why I'm no longer shy. Now, I couldn't talk to girls for a very long time, and I always tease you, because I always say you ask me out, right?
Right.
And so I brag a little bit about that, even though I always tell you that I never even considered dating you because I thought you were way out of my league.
Okay.
I wouldn't even have considered that you would be interested, right?
Right.
And so I joke about it, but I never told you that you play a big part in the reason why. So, like the intro that we did, that was pretty smooth, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Pretty smooth, right?
It was.
So, I've learned to have the gift of gab, and you know, I'm long-winded in my conversation,
Yeah.
and so the years I had stored up when I was shy because of this incident when I was a teenager,
Okay.
you're getting the brunt of all my conversation now.
Okay.
Okay, so when you first met me, I was shy, right?
Very shy.
Okay, so here's the exclusive. I hope you're ready. Here we
I'm
go.
ready.
So, I want to preference this before I get into the story. I'm going to talk about another young lady from
Okay.
my past. Okay?
That's fine.
Now, I don't remember her name. I know it begins with a T.
Okay.
So, I'm going to call her Tia.
Okay.
Now, that may not be her name, and if Tia, you somehow, under some crazy circumstances, listening to this podcast or ever listen to this podcast, you'll probably identify yourself in this story. I apologize for forgetting your name. Blame it to my head, not my heart. But for this story, for the sake of the story, you're Tia.
Okay.
Okay? So I was about 15, 16 years old. I was living in Maryland at the time. We were living in Oxon Hill, Maryland. And I was working in a place called Young World in Iverson Mall. All my people down in PG County know what I'm talking about. Iverson Mall. And my sister, Kim, was working at the Taco Bell in the Marlow Heights Shopping Center. And she worked with this girl named Tia.
Okay.
I was interested in Tia as a teenager. When I would go to my sister's job and we would, wait for her to get off so we can go home together, I would see Tia there. And so I let my sister know, hey, I'm interested in Tia. And so my sister, being the good sister that she is, set the alley-oop for me, right?
Okay.
She set the play for me. She put the bug in Tia's ear that my brother's interested. So word got back to me from my sister that Tia said in so many ways, tell him to shoot his shot. Okay. So the day I was going to shoot my shot, I'm at work and I'm in my head going over what I'm going to say, right?
Okay.
Now, at the time, because my brother was now older than me, and he was kind of doing his own thing right now, right? He had his own friends. He was working his own job. And so I didn't have anybody at the time to tell me that pickup lines was not a go.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So I came up with this pickup line that I thought at the time was a go, right?
Right.
So I rehearsed it all day while I was at work. And finally I got off. All the nervousness was out of my system. And I said, now I'm about to go in here and drop this pickup line on Tia.
Okay.
So I go strolling into the Taco Bell in the Marlow Heights Shopping Center. Tia's at the counter. She's at the front register and she's taking care of a customer, right?
Right.
So after she's done with the customer, I go up to the counter. I lean on the counter. And I said in the smoothest voice that I could possibly muster up. And I was still in my puberty stage, so it wasn't a whole lot of bass in my voice.
Okay.
And so I came up with what I thought was the home run, slam dunk pickup line.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
And I looked at Tia and I said, "What's up, sweet thing?"
What did she do?
Tia stopped for a second because I believe she had to process what just happened.
Right.
Tia busted out laughing at me. Hysterically laughing at me. That This boy just came up to me and said, "Hey, sweet thing." So she runs in the back laughing. And now she's notifying or telling all the other employees that are working on the line what I just said.
Oh, honey.
And her laughter now trickles down to their laughter. They didn't stop making tacos. They didn't stop serving the people at the drive-thru. The dude that was served before I got to the counter stopped putting his Baja Blast in his cup. Everybody's looking at me laughing at me because I just said, "What's up, sweet thing?"
I personally think it was cute, but maybe she thought it was, I don't know.
So I'm embarrassed, right?
Mm.
So this story actually has 4 parts.
Okay.
Confidence,
Mm-hmm.
which I had going in.
Okay.
Shame, which I had going out.
Okay.
Risk, which I'll get to later.
Okay.
And redemption.
Okay.
You play a big part in risk and redemption.
Okay.
Or triumph.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll get to that. So Tia's laughing at me. The whole Taco Bell staff is laughing at me. The manager comes out her office to find out what's so funny. And when she find out, I said, "Hey, sweet thing." She's now laughing at me. So I go outside to process what just happened. And my confidence is now shot. I'm feeling shame. My sister comes out. And you ever see that meme with the girl with the ponytail who was just looking like my sister, she would have been the first, because she was like, "I just threw you a wide open alley-oop and you just went up and totally missed all rim. You like just dunked the air."
Kim ain't trying to help you?
It was over. It was over. I crashed and burned.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry.
And from that time, I could never, like my confidence was shot. So I didn't know how to talk to girls, right?
Okay.
So that leads me down to you. And this is the reason why, if you hadn't made the move to say
See,
I'm
now you
interested.
make it sound like that I was fast.
No. You wasn't fast. You already said why you thought you were interested,
Yeah.
right? So if you didn't make the move, I would have never been able to muster up enough confidence to come talk to you.
Okay.
So again, I was asking you about our first date, right? So you remember, our first kind of official date when we went to Yokohama.
Right.
And I did ask to kiss you. That was the first time I kissed you, right?
Right.
And do you remember there was a question that you wanted to ask me? We don't have to get into it, right? But you were afraid to ask me.
Right.
Well, if you want to get into it, that's fine. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
But after we had the date, I called you later on that night to answer your question, right?
Right.
And then after I answered your question, you don't remember? I see your face over there.
I'm trying to think. What did I ask you?
Well, you didn't ask me. I knew you wanted to ask me, was I a virgin?
Oh, that's right.
Right?
Yes.
And I told you,
Yes,
yes,
that
I
you
was.
were.
Okay. Thank you, Tia. But actually that was a good thing, because I'm a firm believer in, hold yourself off until marriage.
Right.
Okay. That's just my belief. I'm not.
Right.
Okay. So after I called you that night and we had that conversation, I then hung up, and now this is where risk comes in. Because me being the big now that I actually have you now and we're married, this may seem like it wasn't that cornballish, but I turned into the ultimate cornball, and this is where 16-year-old kid came back. But I threw caution to the wind because I took a risk. I called you back after we had the conversation, and I said, "I just wanted to tell you I love you." Now this is our first date. Now you could have hung up on me,
right,
and ended it right there.
Right.
Like, this clown is crazy. What does this joker mean? You love me? But you being mature, knowing what you wanted, I jumped out the window and took a risk. And what did you tell me back?
That I love you too.
You love me too,
And
right?
I meant it.
So there's where triumph comes.
Right.
Is that I took a risk because I could have fell flat on my face and you could have said, this dude is a cornball calling me already after one day talking about he loves me, and hung up on me and never dealt with me ever again. And who knows where I'll be in my life. He's probably still scared to talk to anybody.
No, you wouldn't. And I don't think that it was maybe a risk or for you to say that. It was a risk for me to even say it back, and most people or people listening might think, well, y'all said that just after one date. We went to the same church. We kind of knew each other, and kind of, I was very observant of you, and you probably were very observant of me. So we kind of knew each other's character and what we wanted. So I think that's how we both were confident. You were confident to say it, and I was confident enough to say it back.
Yeah, but I'm trying to paint the picture here, because it was like 1 a.m. Like, who is this cornball calling me at 1 a.m. just to say I love? Like, we just got off the phone.
Right.
I just hung up, and here he is calling me back like, I just wanted to let you know I love you. Like, thank you for not cornballing me and crushing my confidence. Thank you for not being Tia.
You're welcome, Lou.
And so here we are today.
Here we are today.
Now I have the gift of gab.
Yes, you do.
And again, I talk a lot, and I always say that if I can meet a person who dislikes me, right, or who's angry with me,
right,
get into a room with them,
right,
and they may not like me, but they won't hate me when I leave.
I agree.
Okay?
I agree.
All right. So you had some questions that you wanted to ask me.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So my first question for you is, why do you think women receive more criticism for dating or marrying a younger man than men who date or marry younger women?
Okay. So, and this is just my opinion, right? Because you asked me what my thoughts were, and this is just my opinion. So there's no scientific proof behind this. There's no statistic to prove this. It's just my thought. Okay. I think that it's a mentality thing, right?
Okay.
So I believe that women mature faster than men.
Okay.
I think women are more practical than men. I think men are late to maturity and also imaginative.
Okay.
Like, women, they, you know that old saying that a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush or something like that? Like, women are practical. Men, they are imaginative. So, like right now in America, there is a 28-year-old woman right now applying for night classes.
Okay.
In that same state, there's a 35-year-old man in his basement recording a rap album.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Because he thinks that he's going to make it. She's practical. She's saying, I'm making the necessary steps to improve my life now.
Right.
Right? So when a younger man dates an older woman, or when an older man dates a younger woman, they're mentally almost on the same level because she's faster to maturity.
Okay.
So they match almost intellectually, or not even intellectually, but mentally.
Okay.
Like, she's already, and I've seen this because I work with families to where the husband is older and the wife is maybe 7 or 8 years younger, and I sit down and talk with her and him, and their maturities are matching. Like, she's already thinking on the same mature level that he is, and he's 10 years older.
Okay.
Now, if you flip that around and you have an older woman dating a younger man, he may be 29, but mentally he's still 22, 18. He's still dressing young. He's still talking young. He's still thinking young. So as an older woman, when you date a younger man, you're going somewhere and you're looking your age, you're looking mature. He may be 28, but he's still wearing ball caps inside. He's still wearing baggy clothes. And not saying that that's an issue or anything like that, but he looks way younger than what he is. And
Right.
on a mental level, like he's still recording his rap album. You're practical. You're saying, I'm going to nursing school. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. By the time he gets there, you've already have 2-4 degrees in your hand.
Okay.
And I'm only saying this because I'm talking about experience here, right?
Right.
So, and I think that's where it is that when you look at it, men are still late to maturity. Women are mature. And so even though you may be a 35-year-old woman dating a 26-year-old man, he's still mentally 18 years old. And so it looks even younger.
Okay.
It looks like you're on so much of a higher intellectual level sometimes that it appears that you're dating a child.
Okay. I can see that.
But when he's older and he's dating a younger woman, they're already matching on that mental level. And so it almost kind of meshes better.
Okay. See,
So it's our fault.
See, you're looking at an intellectual level. I think I'm coming from it from the point of view as guys will see other guys, and if he's dating a younger woman or married to her, they'll pretty much, give him the head nod, dap him up, It's like it's an accomplishment or a trophy, so to say. But if a woman is seen with a younger man, she automatically gets like the side eye, or as my sisters lovingly call me, Stella, but it's okay.
Because they're already mentally on the same level you are, right?
Right.
So they're looking at you date this young guy, and he's acting, he's looking, he's dressing like a child.
Okay.
And so it's easy to say, why are you dating that kid? Because even though that person is 25, 26 years old, they're still dressing and talking and acting and looking like a 16-year-old.
Okay.
Because he's late to
Sometimes,
maturity.
Okay.
And so it's perception.
Okay. Okay.
And when men are dating younger women, again, men are saying, yeah, why? Because they're still immature. They're still thinking,
okay.
like, yeah, it's like, yeah, man, like they haven't.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, did you have an issue with me being older than you once you found out my age?
No.
Okay.
No. And this is why. I knew what I wanted.
Okay.
Okay. So I was raised by my mom, right?
Right.
And not only did I have my mom in my life, whom to me my mom is bigger than life. Like a way a person would look at a superstar that they've always wanted to meet. Right. And I believe, and this is just again my belief, that men will look at the strong women in their lives.
Correct.
And they'll look at those qualities that they have. And those are the same qualities that they would want in a wife, the ones that they admire.
Right.
Right. And so in my life growing up, I had my mother, I had my grandmother, I had my auntie.
Right.
And my sister was young. Like, I love my sister to death. And so I must exclude my sister from this because we're twins and we're the same age. So I'm going to talk about the women in my life and how that correlated to me knowing I wanted you because you embodied the qualities of these strong women in my life. Okay. So my mother, she to me was like the strong like my grandmother's the matriarch of our family. I think my mother is like the understudy matriarch.
Okay.
And that's how I saw it. Like, my mother had a presence that commanded respect.
I agree.
Okay. My mother was able to go into a situation and take control and do what needed to be done.
Right.
My mother was this stoic but assertive woman who was even keeled, and to me, she was larger than life.
Okay.
Like I saw that in my mom, and I wanted a woman who embodied those type of qualities that I seen in my mom because I admired my mom so much.
Okay.
Then I had my auntie, right? My auntie is this beautiful, intelligent, kind-hearted, little bougie sometimes, angelic lady who
Right.
protected us when we got in trouble,
Okay.
right? She has this way about her that when you meet my aunt, that she can make you think or make you feel, not think, but make you feel like you have this special relationship that's just between you and her.
I agree totally.
And that's with everybody that meets her.
Right.
And so I saw those qualities in my aunt, and I wanted a woman who embodied those qualities. And my grandmother, who embodied all those qualities of my mom and my aunt, who is just this charming, beautiful,
Yes.
funny, serious, no nonsense,
Right.
awesome woman, whom my granddaddy was always taking care of.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother's a traditional Southern woman.
Right.
Her home was always in order. My granddaddy always knew that he was loved. He woke up. He didn't leave that house without eating, and he didn't go to bed without. My grandmother was that type, and then she was smart, teacher. Like, my grandmother is awesome.
Right.
And so that's why I didn't need long to know that you were the one. And that's why I also didn't mind the age thing, right?
Okay.
Because when a man knows what he wants, he don't need, like, when you catch the big fish, you don't need to continue to fish for the smaller ones.
Okay.
Right? And so I came into it knowing that what you were educated, you were smart, had traditional Southern values, you were hardworking, you were already established. You didn't need me to be established. It never did. I knew that I had to reach a level of maturity, and you made me great because I didn't have college degrees before I met you. I didn't have aspirations to do any of that. It was after meeting you that brought the best out of me. And so you're I will attribute my love for you as kind of a praise to the strong women in my life.
Okay.
Excluding my sister, since but she's also one that I admire too.
Right.
But you're a resemblance of the qualities that my mother embodied, that my auntie embodied, that my grandmother embodied. So I knew that the age didn't matter to me because you had those qualities that I wanted in a wife. And so you represent those strong women in my life, those qualities, and I wouldn't have. And so, and I know that I was right, and you're proving that every single day. So I'm sorry to go long-winded on that, but I just was trying to say that's why I didn't mind the age, because I already knew what you were, I already knew what I wanted, and to me it didn't make a difference.
Okay. You just made my entire year. Thank you, love, for that answer. Okay, so my next question is, what challenges, if any, have you faced being a military spouse? From going from a military member, now a veteran, to a spouse.
Well, it's always difficult to have to pick up and move.
Right.
You have to reestablish friends and relationships, find a new job, start on retirement all over again, learn a new skill set, the packing and moving, the adjustment with the kids, not knowing what the job is going to detail for you, the stresses that come along with that, because every new place we go to, you have more responsibility and things like that. And so those are pretty much the more difficult things for a military husband.
Right.
What type of things do you experience or hardships that you have being a military wife? You're not a military wife, but a military service member.
Yeah. Well, I still am military wife, military service member, I think that I try to choose carefully where we are going to go when given the choice, and not just think about, okay, my career, my professional and personal development and accomplishments, but yours as well. Because like you said, it is difficult picking up every 2 or 3 years to move to a different place, leave friends and family, establishing a career, because wherever we're assigned, I have a set job.
Right.
But I try to make sure that where we are going, that you will be able to have a career as well. Trying to take into account, your passion in life, in your career, how you want to grow and develop personally and developing. Personally and professionally. So it's just kind of hard because I might see a set of orders or a duty station that I think would be great to go to, but then I have to step back and say, okay, it's not just me anymore. It's my husband. And then the kids as far as school, the district where we're going to live. So I think we've done a great job, I think, so far these past 13 years that we've been married by talking about it, narrowing down the choices when given the opportunity, discussing it, and discussing both of our careers and our choices and our passions. So that, I think that's the only thing that's been hard, just to make sure that you will be okay. Because like I said, regardless of the place or the duty station, I have an assignment, I have a job to do. It's just making sure that you will be okay because we're a team.
Okay. So, Nita, you served in the military for quite some time, right?
Correct.
How many years have you served?
This November, it will be 25 years.
25 years.
Yes.
Okay. So that means that you've been out of the civilian sector for quite some time, right?
Yes, a very, very long time.
Okay. So can you tell me about the worst job you've ever done pre-military?
The worst job I've ever done pre-military was I was a housekeeper. And I worked that job for half a day.
Half a day?
You heard me. Half a day.
You quit on them?
I did.
What?
I did.
Oh my goodness. So tell me, what was so bad about that job that made you quit in a half a day?
Well, I knew what I was getting into by being a housekeeper at a hotel. But when I got to this one particular room and opened the door, first the smell hit me at the door. And not only the smell, whoever had that room looked like they had a party for a week in there. I walked in the room. It was food on the floor, liquor bottles in the tub, vomit in the bathroom and on the bed, used condoms all over the room.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't even want to walk in the room. I looked around and saw that and shut the door. I walked back to the front, told the manager, I can't do this. He was like, what do you mean? I said, you already know what I'm talking about. The room you sent us to clean up in the back. We're not cleaning that room. And it was me and my girlfriend, Lynn, and we were in agreement together. We worked half a day and bounced.
So neither one of y'all tried to talk each other out of quitting that job?
No, indeed. That was disgusting. Somebody consciously made that decision to go in there and party like a rock star and trash that room and left it like it was. So we consciously made the decision not to go in that nasty room and clean it up.
So the boss hired y'all knowingly that room was messed like that and sent y'all in there.
He knew what it was because he started us out in the front of the hotel. The rooms weren't that bad. We went in and cleaned. We had a system. We had cleaned maybe half the rooms in the front. Told him when we was finished, he was like, okay, I got more rooms for y'all in the back. Okay, we were excited because the rooms in the front weren't that bad. We getting paid by the day, not having to wait till the end of the week. You go and clean these rooms, I'll pay you daily. Okay, cool. Right out of high school, gonna make some money. He set us up. He knew what it was.
Oh man. So did you all have plans with that money that you were supposed to earn?
We probably did. Oh, we got paid for the rooms we cleaned. Believe that. We got paid for the rooms we cleaned.
How many rooms did you guys clean or girls clean in half a day?
I would say, maybe 10 rooms.
10 rooms in half a day?
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe 10 rooms, yeah.
Do they teach you that you can only stay in the room for a certain amount of time?
No, back then we didn't have that rule. I don't think he was concerned with that. This wasn't like a fancy chain like Holiday Inn or Marriott. This was
Right.
one of the hotel motels that was on the beach where we lived.
The type of room that you trash for a weekend and let
Exactly.
you and Lynn
Probably.
clean up.
But we wasn't thinking that. We was thinking, hey, this ad in the paper, yes, before internet, in the paper said paid daily housekeeping, clean rooms. That's what it said.
Hey, y'all didn't know what it was when you was going
No,
in?
we didn't. We didn't. I don't think we even thought how bad those rooms would be.
Oh my
We
god.
really.
You are a nurse. I'm pretty sure you've seen something worse than that.
I have, but that's different. You're taking care of people who are sick, who can't take care of themselves.
Okay.
These people in that room, they weren't that type of sick. They consciously made that decision to whatever they did in that room. I can't even imagine all the things that were done in that room, but that was disgusting, and we weren't gonna clean it.
Oh man.
Anybody that's listening, I have never abandoned my patients like that. If somebody's sick, I will take care of them because I love what I do. I love being a nurse. But cleaning that room, I take my hat off to anybody that is in housekeeping or that's in the hotel hospitality services because I know they've had to clean up worse than that. I just can't do it. I can't.
So where was this?
This was after we graduated high school.
No, I mean location.
Oh, in the hometown where we're from, Biloxi, Mississippi.
Biloxi, Mississippi.
Yes.
So if there's anybody in Biloxi, Mississippi that went on ahead and picked that job up after you and Lynn left.
I don't think it was anybody we went to high school with. Anybody that's from home listening, it was the old hotel on the beach that was right next to Surfside Movie Theater. All of y'all know which one I'm talking about.
All right, so we're going to get into our next segment and our final segment, What's Your Beef?
What's your beef?
All right, so being the gentleman I try to be as always, because they say a happy wife is a happy life, right?
Yes.
All right, so what's your beef? I wanted to give you the opportunity to choose if you wanted to go first or do you want me to go first?
Well, thank you, love, for always being a gentleman. I went first last time. You can go first today.
All right, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So my beef, and I'm going to put a warning out before I get started.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to preference my statements by saying I might get a little riled up because this irritates me, this particular beef. It frustrates me and irritates me. So today I want to talk to my brothers. Okay. My brothers, we going to shoot the fair one today. Okay. Men, grown men who act like children. Okay. Men who are 35 years and older who still act like 20, 25-year-olds. Okay. They frustrate me because when I was growing up, I was raised by my mother. We would go spend summers with my father, and I don't have anything negative to say about my father. When we were there, he was a good father. But my mother raised my brother, myself, and my sister. But we always had men around us that were positive, that we could look up to and be inspired by. And so when I was young, we looked up to our uncles. I looked up to my granddad. They taught us as young men how a man should act, how he should talk, how he should walk, how he should conduct himself. It seems that now we're living in an era where older men are being inspired by younger kids, and they're starting to act, talk, walk, dress like these young kids. And so I want to address the men that are 35 and older. Okay. If you're 35 years and older, you shouldn't be getting facial tattoos. You shouldn't be getting tattoos on your neck. You're too old for that. Anybody that's 35 years old and older who is thinking about getting a tattoo on your face or your neck, please open your hand, give yourself a good quick one across the cheek, wake up. You're too old for that. And if you are 35 years and older and you do have tattoos on your face, You shouldn't be thinking about getting any more. You should be thinking about, how do I get these things removed? If you're 35 years and older, please don't pull up to my kids' elementary school with your music blasting on level 10. Okay, I'm trying to drop off my 5th grader and my 3rd grader. I don't need you pulling up with your music blasting ridiculous cursing while I'm trying to drop my kids off at school. Who are you trying to impress? Who do you think is looking at you? Don't pull up to your place of employment blasting your music. People are conducting business there. Don't drive around my residential neighborhood at 11:30. Now, I'm not saying that you can't listen to your music, but at 11:30 at night, I'm getting ready to go to work. My kids are in bed to go to school. Please don't blast your music around the... Now, kids, I understand. But when you're 35 years and older, you need to grow up. Okay? If you're 35 years and older, you should not be spending 14 hours a day behind a video game. Okay? Your 14-year-old son is on Snapchat or whatever these media sites. They got kids on there posting their genitalia and doing all these. And we have fathers out here that don't even have a clue because they're parked behind a video game for 14 hours a day. It's time to grow up. Fathers who have children by multiple people. Dads, it's your responsibility to find your kids and establish a relationship with them. I get frustrated when kids get older and say, I need to go find my dad. And I'm only talking about men today. I need to go find my dad. It's not the child's responsibility to find the parent. It's the parent's responsibility to find that child and attempt to establish a relationship with him. Because when you cut a child off, you don't cut them off only from you. You cut them off from the entire paternal side of the family. They never get to know their paternal aunts and uncles, their paternal grandparents, their paternal cousins. It's your responsibility as a father, no matter how you feel or the type of relationship you have with the mother. It's your responsibility as a dad to go find your kids. Brothers, it's time to grow up. Okay? I got one more story that I'm gonna share, and then I'll move on. Okay. So I had a coworker one time. He was getting ready to interview for a new job, and he wanted me to go with him to look for some clothes for this interview. So we go out to K&G Menswear, and when we get to the store, he goes and gets him a polo shirt, and then he goes to the sneaker aisle that they have there, and he gets himself some shell-toed Adidas. And I went up to him and I said, bro, do you have a suit? Because I was always taught that a man should have 2 suits, one blue and one black. And he said, no, I don't have a suit. This is the way I dress. And I was telling him, well, brother, you're 40 years old. You're going on a job interview. And he began to have this debate with me about 10 minutes long of how I'm hating on the way he's dressing, that I'm trying to make him go against the way he is, and that I'm a sellout because I'm telling him he needs to go get a sports coat for his interview. And he's trying to tell me that you're just hating. And I'm trying to tell this 40, and here I am 34 years old, trying to tell a 40-year-old why he shouldn't wear shell-toed Adidas to an interview, that he's not dressing for himself, but he's dressing for the people that will potentially employ him. And that I'm not hating on him, because hating on him would be telling him something contrary to his success. But I'm the sellout for telling him, a 40-year-old man, here I am 34 years old, telling a 40-year-old man that he shouldn't wear shell-toed Adidas into a job interview, trying to teach him that he should distinguish himself from the other 10 applicants that are going into the job interview with shell-toed Adidas and Michael Jordans on. Brother, you are 40 years old. 40 years old. And a 34-year-old shouldn't be telling you this. So that's my beef today. Grown men who act like children. Grown men, stop inspiring to be kids. But these kids should be inspiring to grow up to be like men. And we have to make this transition turn around. And that's my beef. All right. Baby, what's your beef?
My beef is the clothing options that are on the market or in the stores or online for little girls and young girls. So we have she'll be 9 tomorrow, 9-year-old, and an almost 12-year-old. And finding clothes for them to wear that's appropriate is a challenge. I have to go to several different stores to either find something that is not see-through, is not skin tight, or is not too short. And the things that they want to wear, they'll hit that famous line where my friends wear, I'm not your friend's mother. I'm your mother. And you're going to have some respect, some decency, and some modesty about yourself while I'm buying your clothes. So the clothes that I see out there, to me, is not acceptable. And parents, we have to take a stand because these clothing manufacturers and companies are going to keep making these clothes if we're buying them. The kids, they don't, unless they're teenagers that you allow to wear anything, or unless they have their own job or paying for their own clothes, we buy their clothes. We should have a say on what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. I am tired of seeing clothes for little girls, like I said, that are too short, especially the shorts. They stand up and they're wearing Daisy Dukes. That's not cute. Or if they bend over, everything's falling out. And even the bathing suits. I buy the girls one pieces because the 2-piece bathing suits that I see, they're too revealing. These are little girls. They're going swimming. And not only that, if they're trying to go play outside, I shouldn't have to worry about them looking like they're older than they are. So that is my beef. The clothing for little girls or young girls to me, it's just not acceptable. And I have to go to several stores or shop online or buy their clothes in a bigger size and tailor it to fit them, since they are slim girls, so that it won't be too revealing. And I absolutely hate that. So I think parents, we have to take a stand, whether it's writing to these retailers or letting them know how we feel, because they're going to keep making these clothes. It's like their sex is selling all over, and it should not even be an option for kids. Why are you making clothes that is too revealing? There's no modesty in the clothing. And then at the schools, it's the dress code. When you have a long list of what you can and can't wear, and it's more geared toward the girls, and it's like you're penalizing the girls. But the clothing that's for them is exactly what they can't wear to school. So I think things need to change. And it takes the parents stepping up and saying, okay, we're not going to accept this. We're not going to let our kids wear it. You need to change it to make it fitting for their age, to make it age appropriate. They have all the time in the world to grow up and wear these clothes when they can buy these clothes. Because in our house, there's no democracy in our house when it comes to our kids. It's like what we say go. You know, I understand that they are finding themselves and they want to have a voice. And I encourage them to talk to us and have that voice, but to know we are the parents. They have to do what we say. It's not what they say or what they feel or if their friends are doing it, because that's not going to fly in our house. And that's my beef.
Sounds good to me. That's your beef. All right, baby. So what's the positive word for today?
The positive word today, and I saw it on one of my friends, one of my stylist page, Keisha Melendez, on her page, Facebook page the other day. It said, know your worth and then add tax. And I really like that. You have to know your worth. And other people should know your worth. You tell them. You don't let anyone tell you what they think your worth is. You are in control of yourself. Know your worth, and then add tax. Don't sell yourself short at all.
This has been the Alumni Podcast. We appreciate y'all listening. If you're rocking with us on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and also click that bell so you can be alerted when we drop new content.
We'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Thanks for listening.
Peace.